Hi everyone, my name is Tamika Schilbe, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about boundaries, life-saving boundaries. And the idea with boundaries, sometimes we push back against them, but if you think about it, any of you that are parents or have children in your lives, you know that we all need boundaries. We need the yeses and we need the nos. We need them both. And the universe also puts boundaries in place for us. So if you think about something you've ever wanted to achieve or something that you've wanted to create and the universe kind of said no, maybe you didn't have the money, maybe you didn't have the person that you needed to help you, maybe you didn't have the support, maybe doors closed. And those are boundaries that the universe sets for us. It's kind of cool. So boundaries are a good thing. They also save our lives because you have a mission on this earth. You have a reason that you have been born. There's a lot of babies that aren't born. You were incarnated onto the earth if you're watching this. And the fact that you have the opportunity to share your gifts, whatever those gifts are, they're different for each of us, is a miracle. But you can't do that fully if you don't set some boundaries. Because if you say yes to everything, every opportunity, every person, everyone in need, every single thing that is asked of you, you won't have time to focus on your mission. It just won't happen. So this is one of the reasons that boundaries are so crucial, because they're related to your mission on earth. So one of the most basic ways that we set boundaries is by saying no. And if we constantly use our yes and never pull out our no card, we have a yes that is depreciating in value. So what I mean by that is that it doesn't really mean anything, because our yes, we're giving it to everyone, all the time, everywhere. And setting the boundary of saying a life-saving no means that we can focus on what we really feel in our hearts is important for us to focus on. It is always important, and it is always wonderful to say no with love, to say no with compassion for the person we're saying no to say no with tact. So always love with our no's. And sometimes those loving no's are not listened to. So if you've been saying yes to someone for a whole long time and they love that, they have really, really appreciated that, and obviously you got something from it too, or you wouldn't have been doing it so long. But suddenly you decide that it's time to use and flex your no muscle. And that person will not listen to a kind and gentle and soft no. I'd not like to do that. They won't listen to that. And there are times when some of you will find that you need to be firmer in your no. And that's when someone isn't respecting your no. They're taking away your right to your free will to make a decision about whether you choose to do something or don't choose to do something. Now, this isn't to say that we don't do things selflessly for others, because of course we do. Not everything that we say yes to, we're like, oh, this is lighting me up and this is amazing. We say yes to all kinds of things that we've chosen to be responsible to for other reasons, because we know that that's a choice we're making. But there are those times where the yeses that we have don't feel right anymore. Maybe they don't feel appreciated. Maybe we feel depleted. Maybe we feel like there's never enough. We're never giving enough. So those are the times when we use our no, and sometimes if it's not listened to in a soft way, we have to say enough, no more. We can still do that with love, but it sometimes has to get stronger. Now, in my experience, this comes in a lot with obligation and expectation. So the people closest to us will push us the hardest and say, well, you have to give me this. You have to give me your time, your energy, your money, your support, your resources. You have to. And often it's because you're my partner, you're my family, you're my coworker, you're my boss, you're my employee. You have to do this because we don't want to be forceful with our no, but if someone is coming at us and saying, you have to give to me, you don't have a choice, because of a rule, because of past behavior, maybe we've always given to that person, then it is okay for us to say a firm no. In fact, often it's necessary. These are really hard situations to navigate. So I'm with you on that. I've been there with this. My experience is that the universe tests us. So we set our no. I will not be treated this way. This is not kind. This is not loving. Often the test is even in ourselves. Like we feel like, oh, did I do the right thing? Especially those of us that are compassionate and loving. We'll say, did I do the right thing? Was that okay? Oh my gosh, I think I shouldn't have done that. And I know I've had conversations like this with my friends so many times, 100 times. Like, are you sure I did the right thing? Like, maybe I should have tried harder. Maybe I should have just like forced myself to do this for this person. And this is where a support system helps a lot when we're setting boundaries, because those people that love you and that have watched you go through pain and agony over too many yeses will reel you in and say, no, this is right. It's hard. They won't be negative, accusatory, slanderous against the person that you're saying no to, but they will hold your hand through it. When something isn't right for you, so let's say you have to say no to something and you feel bad about it, it actually isn't right for the other person either. Because when things are lined up, when things are congruent with each other, when things are harmonizing, they feel good for both parties. Now, of course, there are times in long-term committed relationships where things don't always feel good, but we negotiate, we make compromises, and that's so that we don't become narcissistic or self-absorbed. So of course that is a part of that. But you know what I'm talking about. When something doesn't feel right in your soul, you want to respect that for yourself and know that it's probably not right for that other person's soul and their soul journey either. The person might come back, they might become more forceful, they might become angry, they might become even slanderous to us. And so then, wow, like that's when the rubber really hits the road. Because we have to say, despite all this pushback, despite this ridicule that I'm experiencing, I still have to follow my heart. I still have to be true to me. And this is not a selfish thing to be true to ourselves. This is a life-saving. When we're talking about boundaries, boundaries are life-saving. And really, this is a reckoning process that we have to go through, because the universe wants us to evolve to that next level of mastery over our own lives, to take responsibility for our own lives. We're not victims of other people needing things from us. So this reckoning that we go to, this push-pull, this, oh, I want to do this, oh, I don't want to do this, oh my gosh, this doesn't feel right, but I feel like I have to, it's obligation energy. That is a deep, deep reckoning that we have to go through in order to evolve to the next stage of our personal development. Okay, so what if you are the one that is pushing boundaries with other people? And I know I have done this, so don't feel bad. Maybe it's not that you have to set boundaries with other people, but you have to stop pushing the boundaries. Other people say no to you, or they're hesitant, or they're not totally comfortable with what you're asking them to do, but you keep pushing. And just go easy on yourself if this is you, because this is a time where people's energies are feeling pretty intense. There's changes in the solar system that we don't fully understand the impact on our bodies. And when that happens, we can feel very destabilized. And so we reach out and grab what we can get to recenter and feel like our feet are back on the ground. Doesn't mean that that works, but that's what we naturally do. So one thing to remember about this for your own karma, and I don't mean that as like some threat. Karma is not a threat, it's a gift. It's like how we create heaven on earth is, we send out good things and good things come back to us. In a higher density and a higher dimensional shifting, which we're doing, like we're kind of going from 3D reality to 4D and then beyond. In the higher densities and dimensions, there is no such thing as abusing free will. So in a positively oriented, higher dimensional being, they don't abuse the principle of free will. So what that means is that when someone says no, They don't force. They don't try to push someone to do something that they don't want to do. So to care for your own karma, it's kind of like having a shower and meditating. It's self-care. It's hygiene for your soul. To care for your karma, what you want to do is not force anybody to do anything. So we're not forcing each other to give love in a certain kind of way. We're not forcing each other to provide certain things that we don't want to provide. Even in friendships, answer that call right now. I want you to talk to me right now. A good friend would do that. No, that's force. That's forcefulness. And then that person has to lie in order to be in a relationship with you, because they can't be honest and say, you know what, that was not a great time. So there's a lot of little ways we can be forceful with other people to get our own needs met. So this is something to ask yourself about your own ability to respect boundaries. So on one side of it is our life-saving boundaries that we set for ourselves. On the other side of it is respecting the boundaries of others. Respecting people's no, respecting people's time. So if it's not freely given, it's not really yours. So what I don't want to do is give you the impression that when we set life-saving boundaries that it's so easy and it just smooth sailing and our life is so magically transformed, because it's not. I've shed so many tears over relationships that have changed when I've set boundaries, and it's been hard. And what I realize now looking back is that that was something I had to go through in order to stand up for myself, in order to respect myself, like have dignity in myself. And I also know for sure that if I've been the one to set those boundaries, I've also been the one to push those boundaries in relationships. And so again, making somebody wrong or blaming someone for this is not what it's about. It's about our own journey, about our own responsibility for saying no in our own lives, and what that process reveals to us about ourselves, what happens to us in ourselves, the growth that happens when we go through that. That's what it's really about. It's not about that other person, is it, Luna? Just getting really wanting to be a part of this. So if that was helpful for you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. I'd love to hear if you've been setting boundaries in your life, if I don't think I'm the only one. Any thoughts and wisdom that you'd like to share with us, we'd love to hear that in the comments below, and I'm sure others would love to hear that too. Thank you so much for being with me today, and I love you all. Bye. Hi, I think this happened last time, didn't it? Last time we did a video, I was sitting here in dry, and now look. I am up to my ankles in tidal waters, so we have to relocate.